Let me show you what this light can do in the hands of a pro photographer. Everybody should have this versatile Zhiyun C100 LED light from amateur to pro photographer and videographer. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just gonna say Zhiyun because that's probably how most people would know this company instead of like the Chinese or Taiwanese pronunciation. Oh yeah, speaking of the light, this one. I'm gonna shut this one off, this one back on. It can do it all. It is super bright, has tons of effects, tons of controls, bi-color. It's got RGB and a CCT for your white light. It comes with a bunch of accessories and it's great value overall. I think every pro and amateur should have one in their kit. A quick disclaimer, Zhiyun did reach out to me to see if I wanted one for review. I actually said no at the beginning because I just bought this light pretty much 2 weeks before they contacted me. Something in me just wondered, does this light have music mode? And they said yes. So actually the reason I got this light was mainly so I can have cool ambient lighting at parties and events, but the music mode is actually my least favorite FX that they have. And I ended up discovering way more things with this light. So what are the use cases for this light? For photography, I would say that it is very, very bright. My pro photographer friend was saying it was about 1/8 of the intensity and brightness of his current flash. The benefit is that you can actually see it in real time and make adjustments versus in the flash, you have to take a photo, look at your camera, make an adjustment, and so on. And this is also great for videography. There are many effects. You can use this as a fill light, as a backlight. I was rewatching the Olivia Rodrigo driver's license video clip, and I did notice that there was this effect when she's in the car that's like going over her, and I'm pretty sure that I would be able to replicate that same effect with this light. This would be great for content creators. If you're a beginner, you could use this as basically your only light and it will grow and evolve with you. You could use it as an additional light in your kit. But I did actually use this as a primary light for a couple of shoots, including outdoors, because it's got that built-in battery. Because I tested it beforehand, with and without. This really just adds a layer of professionalism to my video. Could be good for cinematographers and pro cinematographers because you can actually put a bunch of them together to build up more lights, and then you can control them together on the app. And yes, you can also use this for cool lighting just overall and ambiances and party. I didn't realize when I first accepted this light that it would be as versatile as it turns out to be, and I actually don't use the music mode. Let's start with the build and design. I'm gonna take off this diffuser. 14.3 inches long. It is very compact, quite heavy, and it makes sense given how much stuff this has. Part of the reason that it's heavy is the built-in battery, and it's also got this, what they call this Dynavolt cooling system. It's got a huge heat exchanger, which allows it to keep the light cool and have it running continuously for hours without it overheating and still being quiet enough that the audio on a microphone will not pick it up. It won't pick it up unless like you're putting it like right next to a microphone. It is, however, a little bit heavy, 1,337 grams, which is about almost 3 pounds. What I really like is that it has onboard controls right here. You can also control it on the app, which we'll cover later, but you can control every single thing that you need right on board. Should you forget your phone, should you have technical difficulties, should something happen with the company, I mean, it's very doubtful. It's a very good company. It's been around for a bit now, and it's really making a mark in the photography and cinematography world. Sometimes if you buy cheap lights, you know, it does happen. The company goes under, and then you just have no more access to your device because it's only controllable through the app. It has these nice dials right here with a nice clicky sound. I think they're plastic. They work very well, and you can control everything on here. Really granular controls. To turn it on, you'll notice if I just press it, double press it, nothing's working. If I try to long press it, it will tell me short press, single press, and then long press. Prevents accidental turning on. So we'll do a short press, long press. It turns on, cycle through like that. Within certain modes, you have many options. On top here, there's a select and an adjust. Click on it to go down and change different parameters within that certain effects in this current mode. I can also adjust to change. If I like these parameters and I don't want to accidentally knock anything and then mess up my settings, if you double press power, it will lock it. If you double press power, boom, you're back in. On each end of the light, you will see that there is a 1/4 inch thread. Very common. One of the things that my pro photographer friend noted right away was it seems a bit flimsy, especially given the weight of this thing. And when we were doing a photo shoot to test this light out, this happened. That broke off. This adapter did get stuck, in fact, in here. we were doing a lot of torque and there was a lot of adjustment. It's a Manfrotto brass thread, and he said that this has happened in the past with other lights that he has owned. So that's why he already had a feeling that it felt a bit light for its use. Feels like it should have been a 3/8 inch thread. I suspect that a 1/4 inch is just a more popular size, which is why they decided to go with that, because if they went with the 3/8, maybe there would be less breakage or less chances of breaking, but more people complaining just because there's less compatibility. Kind of wish it was a 2-in-1, 3/8 and 1/4, where a 1/4 inch could have been threaded into a 3/4. You could have maybe removed it and you would have access to both options. This comes in 2 different versions, a standard version and a additional accessory version. The standard version comes with a lot of accessories though, and it is $299, $389 Canadian. It's a little bit messy right now, but it comes with this case, which is a pseudo soft case. It's got a lot of foam inside. It includes a USB-C cable, but no power adapter in the standard. You have your diffuser, you have your reflective barn doors, which are removable. I would just leave it on. I think you would only have to remove it if you were connecting 4 of these together in that array panel that they have. I just leave it on, it's not in the way. And also the other accessories, they need the barn doors in order to work. Their other version is $399 USD, $519 Canadian, and it includes a couple of other things. On top of everything that you get here, you have your battery charger. With the higher wattage of the DC adapter, I get faster charging and continuous power during shoots. It's more stable, it's more durable, and it lets me run the light at full brightness without worrying about battery life or any interruptions. You also get this grid. You also get this bag. I don't know why they included this, like this was that much of a bonus. I don't really find this as any value. And it also comes with this clamp that you can clamp onto here to secure in other ways. Also has a thread here and on the side. And yes, it is also a 1/4 inch. But now, given what I know, depending on how the light would be positioned, I would either use this thread or this thread or this thread or this thread and then strain it less. Like if I had the light like this, I wouldn't have a thread in here on a boom, which is how with my friend when we were adjusting it was like this, and after a couple of adjustments it just gave out. So I would be a little bit more mindful, but even if you had a thread here, given the weight of this thing at almost 3 pounds, this is still a lot of strength on this thread. On a 1/4 inch, that is like this. So it depends on your needs. You may be okay with just the standard pack, but this does offer you more flexibility depending on what videographer, photographer you are. If you do decide to buy this product, there is a discount code in the description down below that you can use on their website. Buying through those links costs you nothing extra, but it does give me a little bit of a kickback. It's an easy way to support the channel. For all of these accessories, I'm honestly a little bit iffy about the durability long term of them. I think it'll be fine, but if you're constantly using these accessories, they might break. So the barn door has these reflectors on it. You know, you can narrow down your beam depending on where you want the light to go. This is just like a sticker that's stuck onto a panel. It's even got a little bit of like bounce on it. It's not metal by any means. Wouldn't necessarily want it to be metal. The cost would be up. It does work though. Now for the diffuser, while the barnyard door is closed, it's a little hard when I'm just holding it in the air. Normally I have it on a surface while I'm doing this. So this is it's not a reflection of the light, it's a reflection of me right now. There you go. And then you would open up the barn doors afterwards to then have your diffuser installed. It is not the most elegant solution. It does work. I'm once again iffy about the durability of this long term, the stretch, the elastic, how long it's gonna last after a while. I'm hoping that these accessories are things that you can buy after the fact. The first time I installed it, I wasn't really sure how to do it that well, and it's kind of tugging on things, and the seams were looking like they were pulling apart a little bit. So I would just be a little bit careful, try to be gentle with it, and hopefully it does last. And hopefully they stand by their product. I mean, there is a warranty on this thing. If it breaks within that certain time frame, hopefully they'll replace it. In terms of the quality of what the diffuser can do, I think it's great. It works really well. I have seen other YouTubers mention that they wouldn't necessarily use this as a key light. Obviously, this depends on the quality of video that you're releasing. I think it actually can do quite a good job. And at the beginning of this video here, I had it on and it was only at like 2.8% brightness because it was quite close to me. It is very bright. If I hadn't bought the current key light I had, I probably would have just used this and called it a day, but I'm also not necessarily a pro videographer. For the grid, to install that, you need to open it up like that. You have these straps here. You have these little tabs on each side. You have to make sure that those tabs go on the other side. There's also a little opening here, so those slip right over, and then you just secure it with the little Velcro strap. The quality of this one is very good. It's really thick. I do like it. It works well at reducing the beam even more inwards than the barnyard door. It's different. The only concern that I have is that with time, the Velcro stopped working. Maybe a hook would have been a better version. Hopefully, if they do improve on these things, that it would be retroactive to fit on your light if you already had one. So if Zhiyun, if you're listening, please factor that in. Don't alienate your past consumers. Put that all back in and put this case away. And let's talk about performance and features. On board, it does retain the last setting that you use, and that's for every single mode that we cycle through. It has dual color temperature, so you have really color accurate whites and warm whites and color, instead of combo womboing it in one and simulating white light with RGB, which never does a good job. You have a range of 2700 to 6500 Kelvin temperature on here. No banding or flickering for video. You can adjust the speed, the color temperature. You can adjust the color temperature by degree. You can adjust the color temperature by RGB value. You can also play with the percentages of saturation and brightness. And this thing gets really bright. Like in pitch dark, I turned it on and it lit up. That one of my friends, we used it at her cabin and we just like lit up the river near her for fun. He's like, we need to bring this light everywhere because it can be a functional light for us to light up different things when we go camping and go to different festivals. I do have an issue. Let's say you're at a brightness that's closer to 100% and you play with the saturation when you're in color mode. So like RGB colors or 360 degrees. I have noticed that the jump from 99% to 100%, it's a little bit larger than what I would like. Every other increment from 0 to 99 is very gradual, but then from 99 to 100, it just jumps up a little bit. Hopefully, it will improve with a future firmware update. Also, I don't really find it that big of a deal because I can play with so many different colors and get what I need. In a video shoot, I wouldn't be changing that midway through to just all of a sudden tweak with the saturation. Everything is by 1% onboard controls. In the app for brightness, you can actually tweak it to a 0.1 degree percentage, which is just very minute control. I don't know if it's necessary, but you can if you want to. We have 18 lighting effects total. We have 6 that are RGB lighting effects, and then we have 12 other lighting effects. The light color at different settings, I could always have one light there, key light, and then this be in the background. We'll go at 0 degree at a saturation of 100%. So I can play with the saturation too to change the color from 0 to 100. So we'll go to 100% saturation. And then we'll go up to 360. I can also do the color adjustment with RGB places, and the dim percentage changes on each one. They save from the last setting. You have 2 chase, 1 chase, 2 chase at 35%, speed 1. We can go 1 chase, 2 chase, there's 3 chase, 40%, rainbow, CCT pulse, going through all the different warmth colors. This is music mode, color cycle, color fade, SOS. I guess it's like I'm watching TV. Dim one on some settings are still very bright. No photos, please. I'm just trying to live my life and not be a celebrity. Ooh, police car. You can change between red, blue, red. I am innocent. 42%, 50 speed. You can't choose the color. Whee! The music mode I don't love, and I hope that they update that and add additional options in the music mode, because right now it just cycles through various colors and it's just like a stark contrast. I would have preferred strobe. I would have wanted to adjust sensitivity. I would have wanted to adjust speed and types of ways that it would flash. Because if they did that, this light would be even more versatile. DJing at festivals or portable stations, and it could be fantastic. So please, 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 please add more of this. And the music mode, by the way, works with this onboard microphone. So it picks up the sound around you. I wanna quickly talk about other light bars, because this is definitely more pricey than other light bars I have seen on Amazon from companies like Newer and Godox. I did quick research and I didn't see any other light so far come close to the specs that this one offered, but also this one does come with a higher price tag. You get what you pay for. So I did mention that you can control the light with the app for the sake of your eyes. I'm just gonna turn it away, turn it on. Different kinds of lights that you can click right here, play with the brightness. This is where I was talking about the percentage. You can also do CCT gel, different options here. You can also CCT pair. It's not gonna be the most accurate. That would be a good starting point to help you. You can also adjust different colors here, HSI, RGB, all the different settings that you have. So that's all accessible. And this is actually really great to use the onboard controls when you have the light elsewhere and you need to control it, which I did with my friend when it was up on a boom and I was using the app to control it. It disconnected like one time, but I don't remember why. I don't know if it was something that I did, but every other time has been very snappy, very responsive. Like, see, I'm pressing it right now. Oh, it's so bright. On my shirt, you'll see from 99% to 100. I don't know if that shows in the camera, but then this is 99, 98, 97, 98, 99, 100. There's like that stark change in that saturation right there. You also have a color picker, cooking mittens. Boom, it's pretty cool. Not really accurate. It's coming out quite pink instead of red, even though on my app it's very much red. But I can increase the saturation. Actually, now it's much more red. Starting point, really excellent for that. I think it's a great tool to have. One thing that is missing in the app though are all of the effects controls. You have none of the effects controls in here, just the color and just the white light. Hopefully they will add that with a software update. I don't love the app here because I don't know why they have this. Why does it move and why do I can click on here, but there's not additional things. But clicking on here and showing me all the options that currently exist, it's making me think that this is already designed and programmed in because they have the intention to add more in the future. I'm assuming. So let's hope my assumptions are right. Turning off. Wow, what a difference. It's a whole new world. Totally forgot. You can save your presets. So I can save any of the presets that I want and give them different names. Color, I can save this preset, and I can see I already saved different presets for that one. That was interview for fun that I've saved. And then you can save another preset here. You could put them, I think, in different folders. That I really, really, really like, because that means that if you have different setups, me as a YouTuber, I like to film in different places in my home at different times of the day, and I choose my different lighting accordingly. I can save it so I don't have to manually change it each time. I can just go into the app, press a button, done. I did enlist the help of my friend Andrew Miller, who is a pro photographer and has been in the game for 25 years. He does landscapes, he does portraits. He's a photographer based on the East Coast of Canada, but does travel for work. So if you are looking for a photographer, check out his website, which I will link also in the description down below. Let me show you what this light can do in the hands of a pro photographer, because it is beyond. I'm actually so happy I have these photos, so thank you, Andrew. By the way, that is a faux fur jacket. We did use a lot of the options for the lighting and the accessories. We were both pretty tired at the end of that. This is his thoughts on the light.
So the reason I'm excited about this LED light, it has enough luminance and brightness, even just as a white light, to be able to do basic level portraiture. Aperture f1.8, 50mm lens, good portraits of Jess with the light about 5 feet away, with good shutter speed, good ISO, no tripod, ISO 200, 300 at most, and it was doing great photos. It's not as bright as a flash, and it probably never will be with LEDs because you don't want blinding lights in people's eyes. Flashes are like pops of light and they do great things. But to give you a comparison, this $450 US, I think, LED light compared to this flash, no remote control, listed at $319 Canadian at the moment. Pretty cheap in the spectrum of buying a flash, the Canon or Cactus brand flash that takes 4 AA batteries. It's weaker than this, probably about half as powerful. Also costs about $300 or $400. This here is a more professional kit. It was $6,500. It does 1200 watt output, 2 light heads, not just one, but it's super expensive and it's used for lighting larger areas or using very small apertures. So if you need that level of intensity of light, great, but still it's only flash. It's not usable for video recording. This light, I can do portraiture with it. One light that I can take as a solution for portraiture and do video interviews at the same time. Whereas something like this has a very specific use, costs a ton more, and has a lot more infrastructure to it and a lot more parts that can fail, I believe. I'm still having problems with this.
The last thing that we're gonna talk about is the power and the battery. So yes, it does come with an onboard battery, 4,500 milliamp hour times 6. I can charge here with Type-C as well. Pretty universal at this point since everything is Type-C now. You can also use it while it is being charged. And that does include a power bank. So you could use this for a remote location where you don't have access to power. You just need a strong enough power bank. The recommended power bank is 65 watts. Depending on the brightness of your light as well, it'll use more or less wattage. If you don't have it at full brightness, if it's not doing any crazy effects or it's not really draining your battery that much, it could not only be powering off of the power bank, but it can also be charging because basically it will use whatever it needs to use and the extra wattage will be going towards charging the onboard battery. 4,300 kelvins at 50% brightness, it lasted a little over 2 hours, and at 100% brightness, it lasted at 54 minutes. To give you an idea of how long it can last, I have used this light for my friend's birthday party outdoor at a park on color mode. I think it was at about 20% brightness. It didn't last the entire night because we were there from like 8 p.m. to 3 a.m., but it lasted a long time. If I had a power bank, I could have kept charging it too. Like any battery, it will degrade over time. Unfortunately, you can't replace the battery. I really wish you could. The LED should last somewhere between, like any typical light, 25,000 to 50,000 hours. Depends on all the different conditions that you put the battery through and the different lightings that you use. When you're done with it, looking at your local wastes and eco centers, please just dispose of it the best that you can, just to do your part, The battery has all the regular stuff that you normally would have in a good quality battery. Battery over heat protection, over voltage, over current protection, overcharge protection, etc. I love this light. I might go off and try to do more cinematography stuff, something that I haven't done in a very long time. Soon, I am using this light for many events, lighting many events. This is a very pro light. And this fill light, which I just realized died. Oh my God, I gotta get better at charging my stuff. I could just go on with these 2 little lights. I'll link this in the description down below as well. And I am set up for a great portable lighting situation. Because I can charge it with USB, I could potentially not bring this charger with me. While I have you here, maybe this video or this video may be of interest to you. So you can check those out. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.